I'm happy to welcome Sadah Espii Proctor from Espii Studios on our stage to talk about the challenges of spatial storytelling for theater and film, and how we can transfer concepts like the mise en scène in the field of XR and spatial computing. So, welcome, Sadah.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sadah Espii Proctor, and I'm an XR director and sound media designer for theater, podcasts, and immersive experiences. Thank you all for tuning in to my talk, and thank you to Marissa Nardi, our speaker coordinator. Today, we'll be talking about spatial storytelling, the elements of mise en scène as seen in theater and film, and how you can apply it to your virtual, augmented, and/or mixed reality experience. A little bit about me. I'm an XR director and sound media designer working in theater, podcasts, and immersive experiences. I'm the creator and director of the VR documentary Girl Icon, which was done through Oculus's VR for Good Creators Lab in partnership with Malala Fund and Milan Foundation. The film premiered at South by Southwest and moved on to Tribeca, Beijing, and other prominent festivals around the world. It also received a nomination for Best Digital Narrative at Sheffield DocFest and was exhibited at the National Civil and Human Rights Center in Atlanta, Georgia. So what is mise en scène? It is a noun, French, translated literally to setting the stage. It is the design and scenic elements arranged within the frame. But what happens when you are in spatial storytelling? The frame that we've come to understand in stories disappears, and what's left are two new frames, our field of view and what is around us as shaped by space and time. The elements of mise en scène that we'll be covering are setting, lighting, depth of space, composition, and costumes and makeup. There will also be a note on sound. For setting, where is your story taking place? Where do you want to transport your audience? And how can your setting help you tell your story? Let's take one popular immersive theater example, Sleep No More. Created by Punch Drunk, it is a site-specific performance based off of Shakespeare's Macbeth. Audiences wander through the halls of the five-story McKittrick Hotel and follow various actors into rooms as the story unfolds. Let's also look at two other examples, Then She Fell by Third Rail Projects and Broken Bone Bathtub by Siobhan O'Loughlin. Then She Fell takes place in an asylum wing and is based off of Alice in Wonderland. Broken Bone Bathtub is a solo performance in a bathtub where a woman expresses her story after she has had an accident and invites the audience to help her take a bath. In these situations, the setting informs the type of audience, the themes of the productions, and contextual information. It also plays a key role in the scale of how many people can experience it at once. An experience for over 100 people will be different than an experience for 15 people versus an experience made for 2 or 3 people. In XR, we often talk about isolation, but one challenge you can give yourself is to see what it's like to create for an audience of one. Now, when we get into augmented and mixed reality, we get into our immediate setting. What is the relationship between your audience's environment and what you're asking them to bring into their space? When looking at Harry Potter World United, it invites the audience to walk around their environment and neighborhood in order to explore the lore of the game. Recently, due to COVID, they've had to adapt the experience to be more stationary so that people can experience it from the comforts of their own home. Lighting can be used to illuminate and carve out space. Let's look at Vestige by Adam Bradbury. Vestige is a volumetric VR film, bringing us into the mind of Lisa as she remembers her lost love, Eric. Lighting through volumetric filmmaking is used to bring form to the fragments of memory. Let's also take a look at the Gorillaz 360 music video, Saturn Spars. Lighting helps to bring a metaphysical understanding of frame by giving contrast to spaces, objects, and people the audience is supposed to give focus to. In an augmented and mixed reality experience, ask yourself, what can lighting add, subtract, subvert, and reveal? Now we will move to depth of space. For this, we will take a look at Alumet by Penrose Studios and Queerskins by Ilya Slizak and Cyril Cybulski. Alumet is the story of a young girl who through tragedy explores the bond she shared with her mother. In Alumet, you are standing in the clouds looking at the city and airships. Although you cannot interact with the characters, you're able to stick your head in the airships and look around and above the city. The contrast in scale also creates a sense of empathy, wanting to help but unfortunately unable to do so. Queerskins tells the story of Sebastian, a gay man who passed from AIDS. The experience is intimate, and the extent of your space is the backseat of a vintage 1986 Cadillac sedan DeVille. Sebastian's parents are in the front seats, and you journey with them on the road as you go through a box of old belongings. The proximity to his family while recounting old experiences influences the audience to adapt their behavior.
Mid-Missouri as
Christians ought to be the happiest people in the world, recipients of his love.
He's been dead to you for a long time, hasn't he? Ever since James.
When we look at augmented and mixed reality, what is the relationship of scale to the audience? Is it life-size? Is it contained in a picture frame? Is it colossal? Am I meant to walk around it? How much of it can be revealed at once? This information will also reveal to you whether you need a headset, a phone, or a tablet as a proper device. Now we will take a look at composition. In the image, you can see a monocular and binocular vision. What can both eyes see at once? And what can each eye see by itself? No matter how much your audience turns around to see everything, their immediate focus is what is in their field of view. Oral and visual cues can be given in order for someone to shift to their new field of focus. Rather than fight field of view, let's embrace the limitation and see how we can lay out our space to create memorable images. Lastly, on visual elements, we have costumes and makeup. Let's look at Traveling While Black by Roger Ross Williams, which looks at the restriction of movement that Black people face from Jim Crow era to today. The costumes place a sense of time and place as we sit in Ben's chili bowl listening to conversations. We also have The Invisible Hours by Tequila Works, which is a VR murder mystery where you must find out who murdered Nikola Tesla.
Would Tesla pay to have a blind assistant?
To keep his secret safe from prying eyes.
She's the most famous stage actress in the world. So she lies for a living.
I'm giving him what he wants most. Another dead son.
The costumes in the game not only gives you a sense of time, but also creates a costume in the mind that allows the audience to fall into character. A note on sound. Although sound is 50% of immersive experiences, and I am a sound designer, this is technically not a visual element. Sound, as it relates to the mise en scène, is diegetic, meaning it comes from whatever exists within the frame. Therefore, it is important to understand what the frame is as well as the elements within the frame in order to use sound effectively. Non-diegetic sounds, on the other hand, exist outside of the frame and may come in the form of music, soundscapes, and metaphorical composition.